3 years, but he looks like the only real potent forward up there for StKilda.
He's got a good set of hands and a beautiful kick. He's just might be right on his range. He looks like he's having a look around, but I reckon he'll get the distance.
Well, the ball's been travelling.
Looks like a little bit of, might be kicking into a little bit of a head.
He pulls the kick short in the end. The dive for steal. Captain calls, captain got. Burns jumped on. And Wood apologises, gives him a little high five and says, yeah, maybe should have put it up in the air a bit more.
Marshall, clean fist out towards the pocket. Tom Green trying to get it to Toby Green. Burns trying to keep it in, but to no avail. It's a little lull across Norwood Oval. A picturesque ground, and it's jammed in today. Part of this fabulous gather round. It's 5 games at Adelaide Oval, couple here, couple in the Barossa. Marshall just patted it down. Windhager had a fresh airy. Wilson round the corner, no mark. It was touched off the boot. Marshall Jones, quick kick in the hill direction. Cut off by Jones for GWS. Ward's hands to Himmelberg. Himmelberg had to be quick, but it was good. Deadly accurate to Cadman. And where does he go next? Cadman hugs the boundary line. Taken by Brown. Brown called to play on. That's a long penetrating ball in the Hogan direction. Riccardi out the back, kept it in, got his boot to it. Oh, now that would have been something.
Got a bit of a look from his skipper Toby Green as well.
That kick from Brown went a mile.
It didn't. Just penetrating kick. All forwards were under it.
Again, Miller strides away. Little 1-2 was good with Steele. All the way to the wing, and he keeps going. It'd be amazing if he gets this back and goes coast to coast. Windhager. Hall from 49. Bombs it for behind. But the ball is travelling. Mature mid-season pick. Max Hall. Game 5 looked pretty good.
There's a few opportunities.
Covers the ground beautifully, Wanganeen Miller, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Himmelberg's kick, they've pumped it up. Wanganeen Miller applying the pressure. Tom Green, big 7 minutes coming up for the Saints here. Kelly's kick along the wing. Toby pushing Burns underneath the football. The umpire saw it. So Burns short to Stocker. Stocker to the pocket. It's very wide. It's trying to sit it out for Wood, but it's just too wide in the end. That's Toby Trevalier on the bench at the moment. Shallow throw in. Sharman Briggs won it down. Ware overran it. Kamaniti fighting for it, stacks on right up against the boundary line. A little bit of niggle.
That's it, no. Watch him, yeah, Jake gets behind. StKilda free kick, time wasted.
So that's obviously for dissent.
time wasted, did he say?
Wow. So Sharman inboard to Burns. A little bit of ill discipline there from the Giants. So Burns loads up with a low ball to Wood. Couldn't quite grab it, then he throws himself at it. It's still in play. Giants desperate to get it through for a score and eventually goes through for a rush behind.
Jim Briggs is hurt here. They haven't got a backup ruck either.
That was that attempted mark from Mason Wood. Drove the knee into Briggs. It's hurt him.
Riccardi's having heart palpitations now. He's the guy that I'll go to if Briggs can't continue on. There's a hole. Stocker's ball. A little bit of a resurgence here from the Saints, but they need to parlay that into some goals. Stocker all the way back. Over the head of Wilkie. Go fetch that, Cal. Hogan stalked him off. Olay. The bullfighter got past him. Nice move, same move from Jones.
Oops.
Over the head of Steele. Maybe fatigue starting to set in. Tom Green got rid of him legally in the side. Burns, he can't get rid of it. Try to get it out. Jones, back to Burns. Winging in Mirror. Little flick, couldn't collect it. Kelly on hands and knees. Windhager got a piece of it. Ball knocked back to him. Windhager, dance step. Got around Kelly. Broke his ankles. Goes to the pocket. Buckley, just a good game to watch at the moment.
Buckley to Ward. Short one, Callaghan. In front of Hill, who was right there.
So Buckley plays an important role. We speak a lot about Sam Taylor, but Buckley stands up week in, week out.
Long ball from Callaghan. Cadman waits at the back. Handball from Marshall. Sinclair meets Iden, beats Iden. Handball over the top to Hill. Works inside 50. Centering ball is looking for Sharman. Coming through, Owens paddles it towards Collard. Collard picked it up. Stacks on. Taylor just chucked it out. Wood by hand to Hill. Hill along the boundary. Dumps it on the bird.
They played the block. They played the block. Yeah, Saints supporters, there's plenty of Saints supporters here in the crowd. They're not happy with that one, but it was a block.
There actually is plenty of Saints supporters here, but pre-game when we went for a bit of a walk, Lynchy, there was Saints scarves and Guernseys everywhere.
Flyers go up, no one can mark it. 4 minutes left to half-time. They can get a good breather. Both teams had their quarter-time huddle in the shade. Extended breaks because of the heat rule has been invoked by the AFL, so the breaks are shorter. Garcia, another clearance. Their clearance specialist. To Higgins, who kicks it long. Great grab out from the goal square by Sharman this time. And they're really screaming from the grandstands. Take that off him!
And we saw a similar sort of kick to Jesse Hogan in the first term. Out in front, it allows the forward to lead up at the ball. And it's not on the goal line because that's safe for the defence, but out in front where you can run and jump freely at it, that's good, clean hands.
He was originally with the Giants Academy. They didn't want him. Came to the Sandful to get noticed. Cooper Sharman. And Cooper Sharman slots it on cue. Just what the Saints needed with 3 minutes left to half-time.
Important one for the Saints. It's been pretty much one-way traffic for the last 35 minutes of game time, and they just needed to hit the scoreboard. So really important one for the Saints and for that young man there. Growing in confidence.
He's getting better, isn't he?
Yeah,
Good set of
he
hands.
is. Yeah, clean hands. We talk about soft hands in our game. So the ball just doesn't smack into it like they're steel. Just soft hands to wrap their hands around the ball.
And a great end to 2024, of course. He's kicked 2 today. Briggs won it down. McRae had it for a moment. Spills along the ground. Kelly dumping ball off a step. Brown. He's got Ward running for him. Uses him as well. Just has to sit up with the flight of the ball. And Callum Ward can go back on a 45-degree angle. He's kicked 2 this year to date. He's played every game. So Callum Ward looking to steady the ship. 18th season in the AFL. And that starts left and comes right, left to right and home. So 1 goal last week and 16 touches. Another goal this afternoon, and that was an important one. They lead by 20.
18th season. It's fantastic that the players are playing for longer these days, isn't it?
And he's had some big injuries as well.
Yeah. Fly in, fly out, isn't he? As well.
Is he doing that, is he?
I think he is. Moving him up in a bit.
He's a very important player. He was one of the absolute astute selections when this team was put together when they came into the competition. I think as a 21, 22-year-old to make the move to the Giants, really important player.
You need to that.
So he's living a bit in Melbourne as well during the week.
Yeah, guys, his young family has moved to Melbourne to be closer to their support system, so he's just balancing that work-life balance.
Nice.
Fantastic. The club's allowed him to do that.
Going back to the 80s.
That's it. Russell Ebert style.
Yeah.
Flew over, played for North, flew home again. Ball scooped out to Burns. Good dance step on. Toby Green uses the full measure and then scrubbers one. The half forward through Higgins. Owens caught. With the little high initially on Callahan. Thought he was getting the free to Stone. With poise to Toby. Up against the boundary. He holds it up. Takes a good long breath, as many of them are.
Green along the wing. Kelly. And affects a crude tackle. Free kick, Trevelyan.
Looks a player too, the kid, doesn't he?
Wilkie. Nothing laterally, so he's going to go back to Trevelyan with a minute to go. Some tired players out there in these conditions. Late in the first half. Webster.
This is the thing without a big presence at centre forward. You've got to find this shorter pass and more the uncontested mark.
Hall to Wilson.
Oh, Wanganeen Miller is out.
48 seconds left on the clock. Chip up the corridor, Steele. So they just massaged away. He's thinking about passing it. He is going to pass it, and they've coughed it up. Ash with the big diffuse. Lands in the hands of Garcia. Goes back to Hall. Now it's Wanganeen Miller. He's got a little bit of a problem. Gets rid of it. Bouncing ball. Collard. Hall up against the boundary line. Sweeps the kick towards the pockets in the Sharman direction. Spills free and goes over. Player down there. That's Ward. In the meantime, it'll be a throw in next to the behind post with 17 seconds left.
That was a hard hit by Winaga.
He was grabbing the ribs. As we mentioned just a few seconds ago, he's had some horrific injuries. One facial injury there in a final at NG Stadium. He grabbed for the ribs, so hopefully he's just winded.
The umpire waiting though, because there's a player down. Even though it's not in the vicinity of play now, it might be.
Just brushes it off.
Yep.
Walks back in. He's a hard man. Had no question he was going for that ball.
Few seconds remaining. Time off for something crazy from this. Short throwing Briggs. He got hammered earlier to the front in the scramble. Thomas against the grain. Grab on a free against Ware. Harvey Thomas has played at more venues in 23 games than Scott Pendlebury. Entire career
That's
Scott
an
Pendlebury's
extraordinary
had.
stat.
Can you believe that? Ball back into play.
He gets the
Scrambled away by
He gets
Briggs.
the Collingwood fans angry.
It's a hornet's nest you're touching there.
Yeah, amazing. 23 games, 12 different venues. Scott Pendlebury, 11 different venues and 408. Half-time here at Norwood Oval. What a beautiful sight it is. The outer is packed. Sunshiny day, not a breath of wind. It does not get any better than this. And a contest between two teams that have 3 wins and 1 loss. Don't go anywhere. 20 points to margin, 5-4-34 for the Giants. 8-6-54. We have action around Norwood as well. The Food and Wine Festival, live music. We'll be sampling a few of the products at the conclusion of this with those people. Can't wait for the second half to get underway here.
All right, folks. There we go. It's the Giants leading at halftime, 8-6, 54, 5-4, 34. The Saints, as we saw, the Saints got off to a bit of a good start early, and then it was the Giants who took control in that second term, kicking 4 goals, 3. The Saints, I tell you what, 1 goal, 3. The pressure was pretty good there from the Giants, so that's why they got that 20-point margin here at halftime here at Norwood Oval in Adelaide. A hot day. Players will be taking an extra couple of minutes break, of course, at the quarter time break and 3/4 time break. Now, the heat policy is kicked in. It's about 30, 32 degrees over there in Adelaide, so she's pretty warm. All right, let's duck over in here. Just before we go any further, I just didn't have a look at the ins and outs of these teams today. Of course, for St Kilda, coming in was Jack Steele. Going out was Isaac Keeler. The sub was Angus Hasty. For the Giants, coming in, Harvey Thomas, Toby McMullen. Going out, Brendan Daniels, Xavier Holleran. And, of course, Toby McMullen is the sub. Goal scorers for the match so far. St Kilda, Cooper Sharman, he's got 2. Mason Wood 1. Wanganeen Miller and Ryan Burns, single goal scorers there for the Saints. For the GWS Giants, though, Jesse Hogan, he's already having a good year, isn't he, Jesse Hogan? Well, we wonder how many goals he'll kick for the season. He's got 2 with Toby Green, both going all right. And, of course, singles to Jacob Ware and Callum Ward. Jake Stringer, the package. The Stringer, great to see him back in action for the Giants. The package will certainly cause a little bit of excitement there for the GWS fans. And, of course, Darcy Jones with a single. Let's have a look at the possession getters so far up until half-time. Lockie Ash there. On tops the table with 20, 12 kicks, 8 handballs, 6 marks, a tackle. Good stats for the opening half for Lockie Ash for the Giants. Josh Kelly there, next best on 16. Of course, for St Kilda. Hugo Garcia tops the table for them on 15. Maxi Hall. Ryan Burns on 13. Let's just roll down, see who else we have. Jack Steele there for the Saints, just on 11. Callum Ward doing well, kicking that goal reasonably late in that second term. 10 possessions, 7 kicks, 1 goal for him. Harry Himmelberg just with the 9. Rowan Marshall for the Saints with 8. Who else have we got there? Let's keep going. I wanted to have a look and see where the package was. Maybe I've missed him. Jake Stringer. Oh, we'll doozy on back up and have a little bit of a look. But there are the stats for your players. Jesse Hogan, though, the gun forward of the competition. 5 disposals, 4 kicks, 2 goals his kick, 1 mark, 1 handball, 3 marks. So not too bad. A little bit quiet. Jesse Hogan, he certainly does come into the game late. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I don't know what hang on. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to find the package. I want to find Jake Stringer. Where is he? I just want to see and find out where he is. Oh, my gosh. There he is. There's the package, Jake Stringer. Just wanted to see how he was faring up until half-time there for the Giants. Well, he's had 4 disposals, 4 kicks, 1 goal, 1, so not too bad with a mark and a couple of clearances. We'll come back to the team stats in just a moment because I think the commentators are going to be back in just a second. And we can get back down and see what they have to say for their little bit of analysis of the opening half. But I think we're in for a cracking second half here. Don't give up on the Saints yet. The Giants do look good. They've got some classy players in the Giants. With St Kilda, they're good at fighting. This game's definitely not over. It's not in the bag yet, even though it's 20-point margins. Don't forget, folks, put your votes in who you think's going to win. 75% say St Kilda's going to win. Wowee, there we go. Is that going to come to fruition? Will that actually happen today? I don't know. Time will tell. We're going to be back down with the commentators in just a moment. I think they're just going through a little bit of gather round here. Of course, this is the penultimate game of round 5, the gather round. We've still got one more game to come after this, folks. And, of course, that is Port Adelaide taking on the might of the mighty Hawks. Hawthorn. Should be a good game. I do expect Hawthorn to win that game quite comfortably. Let me just try and get that off the screen. That's better. All right, while we're waiting, let's just have a look at the team stats. The course is pretty tied up, 185, 183. +2 to the Saints there. There's not much in it, is there? +6 kicks for the Giants, +8 kicks to the Saints. Both teams, 27 inside 50s. 9 scoring shots for the Saints, caused 14 scoring shots for the Giants. A little bit more efficient going inside 50 are the Giants at this moment. That's because the Giants have stepped up their pressure in that second quarter. Disposal efficiency around the ground, not too bad, going at about 72-75%. Free kicks, well, there's a few out there, isn't there? There's a few out there, 10-13. Wow, let me just have a look. Norwood Oval, I was just going to say, Norwood Oval, this is a little bit skinnier ground than what they're used to been playing on. So possession is king out there today. Possession is king. The hitouts, the Giants are +6. Clearances +5. Centre clearances +3 to the Giants and +2 to the stoppages. The Giants are just a little bit better in that area. As I said, there's not much in this game at the moment up until half time. Contested, only 9 uncontested. So both teams getting plenty of the ball, as you can see in the marks inside 50, contested marks. There's no team dominating. Both teams are having their chance in this match so far today. But I expect we're in for a really good second half here. I don't give up on StKilda yet. We like what they're doing, and of course we like what the Giants are doing also. It's what team wins it, wants it more. What team can get on a roll? Let's head back down to the commentators.
Been a sensational weekend here in Adelaide. The weather's been hot, the action even better. And here at Norwood Oval, it is the Giants leading the Saints by 20 points. Alistair Lynch and Mark Prosciutto. What about the work off halfback of Lockie Ash? He has been everywhere. Gave away a 50-metre penalty that his coach wouldn't have been happy with early in the game, Lynchy, but since then hasn't really put a foot wrong.
No, absolutely. We were speaking about it in the first quarter. He gave away that free kick to start with. Looked a little bit grumpy going into it, but as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, he's averaging 30 disposals. He sets them up off half-back.
Yeah, him and Lockie Whitfield, who's been quiet today, Lockie, but Lockie Ash hasn't been. He's been quite the opposite. He had 20 disposals early in that second quarter. He then spent 13 minutes without getting a disposal, and 11 of those minutes he was actually on the bench. I don't know what he was doing off for that long, but it slowed him down. He was on track for world record amount of stats, but gee, runs hard from halfback. Him and Lockie Whitfield. And the Saints have got their 2 guns as well. They haven't quite been as damaging, but Lockie Ash looking great.
Maybe he was off for leather poisoning, I reckon, because as you said, he was on track for a massive day and still is.
So, Lynchy, you said early on in our Fox Footy call about the Jesse Hogan ability to get the matchup he wants in the forward line. Can you explain to us what you've seen so far? Because he's coming up, well, the Saints want Cal Wilkie on him because he's their premier defender.
Yeah, absolutely. So StKilda are going into the game on Cal Wilkie to go to Jesse Hogan. So what happens here is Caminiti matches up with Cadman. Now, what Jesse Hogan will go, he'll go over to Cadman, he'll put a block on, and they'll try to get the switch. And more often than not, they've been able to do this. And but as soon as the game sort of settles down at the other end, Wilkie goes straight back to Hogan. And I think it's been a really good matchup. As we can see in this contest, Wilkie got pressured into giving away a free kick on that occasion. But if he gets a free run and jump at the ball, he's got such clean hands and he's showing such great form, he's going to take the mark. So that is a great contest. Wilkie's had the 10 disposals. So only the 2 goals for Jesse Hogan in that first half with the 3 marks. But he's the danger man. You've got to stop supply. So far at half-time, I reckon Wilkie's doing a pretty good job.
He looks awesome in the air at the moment, Jesse Hogan. Let's talk about the clearance game early on. It was all the Saints, and that was when they had the ascendancy on the scoreboard, but the Giants have been able to flip the script.
Yeah, we spoke about this during the first term, especially in the first 12 minutes. It was centre clearances +3 for StKilda and clearances around the ground +3. But from that time, it really turned around and GWS dominated.
They smashed America. They won 6 centre bounce clearances in a row, and they were just dominating through there. Toby Green was coming in, Stringer came in as well, and the other big mids were getting plenty of the ball. So it's really been a great comeback by GWS. They're looking a bit average halfway through the first quarter, but for the next quarter and a bit, they're on top.
So since that 12-minute mark of the first quarter, it was +9 in clearances around the ground and +6 centre clearances. So massive turnaround. And when you think, the supply is 27 inside 50s for both teams, but the quality of ball coming from those centre clearances has been the difference.
Still 33 degrees here at Norwood Oval, so it will be interesting to see who has the legs to run this one out. We're going to head now to Adelaide Oval, where Chief and the team are assembled and ready because Bounce is coming up after this game. Jace, what have you got?
Thank you, Sarah. It's a very special gather-round edition of Bounce coming up to you live from the Adelaide Oval. It's part of the build-up to the Hawthorn-Port Adelaide game. We're on the Fox Footy stage on the hill here at Adelaide Oval. It's going to be massive. Diggo, you've been entrusted with turning up tonight. That's a huge responsibility.
It's massive. Look at the live audience. So it's going to be the biggest, the loudest, and by the end of the show, we're going to have 55 people going, turn it up.
It's more than 55. It's going to be hundreds. Stacked down here. They've got apparently some of the howlers of the year.
Well, look, if you're a West Coast fan, I know it has been a bad year, and guess what? It gets even worse.
I know.
Because there's going to be some howlers for you guys to look at.
And given it's, you know, gather round, we're in Adelaide, we need to have an Adelaide person here. So, Bernie, got a trot out. What are you bringing?
This is my city, Chief, my playground. Did some of my best work out here.
Is this a house
I don't even know what I'm doing, but just watch me this show. I'll do something good. Social life, golden fish.
That's enough. It's going to be a lot of fun, Sarah, coming to you straight after your game at Norwood.
We cannot wait for that one. Thank you very much to Chief and the team. John Ralph joins us now from the Herald Sun. Ralphie, the Barossa game earlier today. Plenty of news out of that one.
Hello, Sarah. Take about South Australia. The Barossa experience was a smash hit, so a second successive sold-out game. Now, in that autumn heat, Richmond ran out of Parfaz. North Melbourne did yesterday against Gold Coast. A great run out there by Fremantle. So 61-point victory. Josh Tracy kicked 6 goals, a career high. A really strong performance in the third in a row for Fremantle. Now, Richmond says that Tom Lynch was managed at three-quarter time. They say it was a little tight, but as Nick Del Santo said, very proper. He did some run-throughs there. And so if it is that he misses in 6 days' time against Gold Coast, you'd imagine that Noah Bolter comes in. Now, he played very well today in a 4-quarter clash against the AFL Academy. I think he's a good chance to come in anyway. But as I say there, I think it's likely that he plays in 6 days' time against the Gold Coast, only days ahead of that sentencing for that assault charge.
TDK, the latest on him. It feels like we don't go many rounds without talking about the big fella.
Well, of course, we saw the mocking banners in regards to Finn Callahan. He didn't come to StKilda, but certainly TDK is a very good chance. And there are some people at StKilda who would tell you they're very, very optimistic now of securing him. So they weren't able to bridge the gap last time round. StKilda, Collingwood, Carlton, they did offer a little bit more. This time, though, that $700,000 gap, I'll tell you what, StKilda is brimming with confidence about TDK.
That was quite the clever banner from the Giants. I think it said we like to win, but we also how good is Finn. So it was a clever one from the Giants banner department there. Well, plenty more coming up here from Norwood Oval, and the young Oz kickers, they're out there at the moment enjoying their moment in the sun. It is the Giants leading it by 20 points over the Saints. Who has the legs to run this one out?
Absolutely. There's some really important players. And it's probably the ball carriers for the StKilda Footy Club that GWS will be looking to stop. Wanganeen Miller plays a pivotal role, as you saw in the first half. Impacted the scoreboard with that long goal with that handball received. But he's the important player. He's the connector off half-back to hit those short passes and give them some sort of ball flow into the forward half.
And he's super confident too. He carries the ball. He knows he's got that extra gear in terms of speed if he needs it. So 11 disposals, 9 kicks, just covers the ground brilliantly. And also, we know what Sinclair can do. He's a superstar. So it's going to be a great second half here.
So it was 2 at quarter time. Giants getting that buffer out to 20 at half time. Crowd finding their positions. Packed house here at Norwood Oval. Opened in 1901, a traditional home of football in the Sandful, of course, here in this state. And we're about to get underway. What can StKilda do? Can they find in the second half? Umpire issues a couple of instructions, and away we go. So Marshall invading the space of Briggs, won it down to McRae, only as far as Toby Green, who scrambled a kick, trapped by Sinclair, who's taken to ground.
And this is the first area that Ross Lyon would have addressed at half-time, his clearance situation.
So Marshall, quick hack kick forward. It's good enough to Thomas, who then pitch and wedges it up into the air. And Green back with the flight of the ball, took it cleverly.
It started in the centre square and at the start of the third quarter, Toby Green, and just on the bolt forward. Darcy Wilson, who started on the wing, was the guy that had to go and pick him up, but it wasn't his man. There he is on the bolt on the left of screen.
Beautifully weighted kick. Didn't blast. So often players that feel they're under pressure just blast it into the forward line, but nicely weighted out in front of his skipper.
If anything, the breeze has been a little right to left this afternoon.
Metre inside the right post, Hilly.
He's kicked 2 already, and that's going to swing around beautifully. Read it with aplomb, and it was a good hit.
They look the better side, GWS, don't they?
Yeah.
Lynchie. StKilda obviously started well, but they just got so many good players all over the ground at the moment, the Giants.
And that's on the flip side, like a lot of talent coming through with the Saints as well. But when you've got young list or a bulk of your team is pretty young, that sustained high performance is more difficult. But just saw the class and the polish, and that is a trend that wouldn't be liked in the coach's box. Just hitting the scoreboard very well. As we said, from that 12-minute mark of the first quarter where the Saints were dominant, it's been pretty much one-way traffic.
Yeah, they've kicked 8 of the last 10 now, the Giants.
Well, we pay you the big bucks for it. You read that kick beautifully. We've played a few games here, no doubt. Green sweeps it in Callahan's direction. Had to wait for the pop bounce. Got it. Thomas, Kelly, ran a little dodge step, and then mongrel one towards the pocket. And it bounced out of play on the full.
How many games do you reckon you would have played here, Roo?
No, not many, actually, to be honest.
I reckon Dwayne would be the one.
Yeah.
It's probably...
Rob was a local in terms of the local comp, and so played 15s, 17s, 19s, and senior support. So yeah, it was a regular occurrence coming here, but it was a beautiful place to play. The cauldron of footy it is. Ward inside to Callahan, held his ground magnificently.
Strong grab. He's a big lad. We're talking about some of the Giants players that go through the midfield from the forward half. This Finn Callahan, I mean, he's got the size of a centre-half forward in yesteryear, but this, again, courage, nicely weighted kick from Cal Ward. I think Cal Ward probably doesn't get the recognition of how good a kick he is, actually.
He's 192, Callahan, so just 6'3.5", nearly 6'4".
And runs like the wind, highly skilled.
It's normal these days, isn't it?
It is.
25 possessions last week against the West Coast. Best game this year, the 33 possession, 2-goal game against Collingwood opening ground. Wasted another opportunity.
Him and Wanganeen Miller, they both glide across the surface.
Yeah, that's a great kick.
Straight up the spine to Stocker. There's Burns running for him. And then Woods stationary at left half forward. A little bit of a fake and then a long ball towards the top of the square. Good defensive mark from Taylor.
And that's what we said in the second quarter. They've got 4 tall defenders, GWS. St Kilda just the 2 tall forwards. So Taylor can just float across, intercept mark like he did there.
So in that situation, Himmelberg just locked his opponent down and easy for Taylor.
Iden's kick towards the congestion. Who wants it out there? Marshall tries to take it to ground. Caminiti with a look-away hand pass. Hall met it hard back to Caminiti, who fumbled it out. Look at this kick here from Wanganeen Miller. We know he kicks it a long way. He kicked a goal for 60 metres earlier on. That was a beauty.
Marshall and Briggs go at it again. Dance the dance, wrapped each other up. Briggs, superior strength, got away with it. Bounced it. Burns got there. Tried to thread the handball through to Wanganeen Miller. And he launches long. Taylor's going to go up again. Outmarked by Sharman. He thought he had it. I thought he had it. And Sharman said no.
I think we're all going with Sam Taylor, weren't we?
Yeah.
That was a strange little finish.
So we saw how softer hands he has. Good leap.
Oh, a bit of hang time.
Yeah, it did. Got up there. And Sam Taylor rarely gets done in a marking contest. Disappointed.
This margin as it stands now, 27 points, the biggest margin for either team. You can't cut it back by a goal. 26 points. Both teams blowing some opportunities.
Rossi Lyon, head in hands, frustrated. He knows his team got to make the most of their opportunities when they do go forward.
Ward probes a kick wide, and in fact 2 wide in the end for Ash and Taylor. It'll be thrown in. So out to 26 points. Briggs and Marshall setting themselves. So Briggs won it emphatically that time. Wanganeen Miller, little handball. Kelly went off the ground, missed most of it. Spearing ball, inboard for the Saints. Owens couldn't quite grab it. Wood was taken. Sharman on a dive, swings around. Good looking step. Good looking step. It's the more difficult ones that he gets. There is a talent.
Yeah, great snap. Exactly what they needed, and often they are the less pressured shots for goal when you're rushed and snapping around your body rather than a set shot. But we saw just prior to that in marking contest against Himmelberg was Mitch Owens. He only had the 2 touches for the game so far, but he provided enough of a contest to get the ball to ground and get a second opportunity in the forward half. And it was the big forward that dined out on that one. Cooper Sharman.
He's kicked 3.
There's a long ball in. So there's Mitch Owen at his best. He marks those.
Back in the middle. Cray waiting under it. Hasn't had as big a day at the office. But he gets this one on cue. Jones shrugs, ran into a roadblock. Sinclair, that looked a little high from here. I said play on. Wilson dumps it. Got plenty on it. Getting back to the fight, Iden. Brilliant grab. Been doing that all year, all career really.
And Iden there on Jack Higgins. So once again, just talking about the height of the GWS defenders over the Saints, smaller forwards.
And it's not as if Iden would get exposed at ground level either.
No, he's good.
So Stone out wide, he goes to Buckley and Ware. Boy back in his home state.
Toby Bedford doing a good job on Jack McRae. He's only on the 9 disposals. McRae 1 kick, 8 handballs.
Back in towards the centre of the ground. Cadman flew, couldn't mark it. Toby Green runs onto it, tucks it under the arm from 40. That is elite stuff. Toby's kicked 4. 10 touches, 4 goals. And that was something special.
I love watching Toby Green.
That was good. And to do that, to one, take the ball cleanly, but at high pace with plenty of opposition players around him, to take the shot and convert. He's a class act, and reinforcing once again how dangerous this forward line, the potency of their midfield into their forwards, and Toby Green. So essentially a one-on-three there in the end, but at high speed. That's looked a lot easier than it actually is. That's a great conversion. He's pretty happy with it too.
Briggs and Marshall engage again. Both got a piece of it. Umpire to backpedal, get out of the way, and Tom Green barrel into the deck. Jones caught by Bedford. Windhager and dumped after the handball. And play on advantage, Sinclair. A bullet pass down the spine. Sharman can't quite collect it. Got a little toe on it. Wood, couple of beat. Set it out to Trevallia's direction, but cut off by Ware. To Taylor. To Ash. Two come at him. Bedford free. Inside to Kelly. Back to Ash. The orange tsunami on the run. Tom Green around his body. Jones, who can get and go. Spears it. That is as good as it gets by the orange tsunami to Cadman.
They are officially on fire, GWS, at the moment.
And see the difference when that pass going to your full forward rather than at the other end. I think it was Sinclair missed Sharman, but then this wave of running ended up with Darcy Jones, and impossible to stop that ball.
Lean down at the office so far for Cadman. 2 possessions, yet to kick a goal. And draws it. Gets on the board, and they are hot.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 13 now for GWS. After a slow start, they have been super powerful. We talk about their forward line, we talk about their back line, we talk about their mid. They are just chock-a-block full of stars at the moment. Probably 2 more coming back next week. For Stephen Canelio and Brent Daniels to come back into the side.
Couple of handy players, both been All-Australian, I think. Great work from Tom Green, just around the body, just to get it out to Darcy Jones, and then just a tracer board into his leading forward.
So the Giants continue with their momentum. It's 32 points now.
So Wanganeen Miller has gone to the forward line.
I think did they just muck that up though?
Maybe.
They rolled him into the centre and he did a quick count, and there was too many.
Riccardi won the tap, only as far as McRae with desperation. Spears it onto the boots. Good juggler from Stone.
And another intercept mark. We've seen a couple back there already in the start of this third term.
He's got Weir short, he's got Stringer up the grounds. And just kicks it into a spot filled by Whitfield. This is the wing, the thin wing. Virtually a straight line. Bedford.
This is an aggressive switch. Well done.
Kick has to be good. It is to Buckley. And then zeroes in on the outer side to Taylor. He's got a lead-in board. Uses Cadman up the ground. Cadman plays it quickly in the Jones direction, just over his head. Steele, handball to Wanganeen Miller. He's going to go for a run, but he got rid of it just in the middle of the ground. It goes. Tom Green won the football. Cadman, that'll bring rain. It's a dead set sky ball. It lands eventually, and the mark taken by Ward. Not sure how far it went, but Ward with 51 metres. Little chip up into the air. Where's Hogan? Where's Stringer? There's a whistle. It's a free kick, and it's going to GWS. Stringer.
Great chase from Darcy Jones. There's a couple of elite, fast athletes there.
He might be the only guy who could have caught him.
Absolutely. We're at Cal Ward. For 18 years, we've been seeing that sort of courage. And a little weighted kick out in front of Jake Stringer. It was a free kick in the end.
Goal earlier on at this end for his showreel. His first goal as a Giant, and make that 2. So they are really putting the heat on now at GWS. It's out to 38 points.
Yes, and 2 goals for JD Stringer, both from free kicks that were there. Well, probably the first one was a bit lucky to be there, to be fair. But good for his confidence. He's getting up into the midfield, getting his handle on the ball. But as a forward, you do need that confidence builder by hitting the scoreboard. And so that'll be good for him moving forward.
Guys, the jostling for position for Gather Round next year has already begun. So the Giants played at Mount Barker last year, obviously here at Norwood today. They're petitioning the AFL to be at the Barossa next year, and I understand clubs executives have spoken to the AFL, clearly stating that that's their plans for next year if they can fixture them there.
Nice story, Sarah. That'll be an interesting watch. I think everyone wants to play at the Barossa after most clubs have had a chance to look at the Barossa this week. Wangani Malera from 50. Something in the way he moves. How is that?
Well, he's a superstar already, but he's only going to get better. He's only in his 4th year, I think, and already had a couple of really high finishes in their best and fairest. He's a gun. He just suits the modern game perfectly. He was recruited as a winger, but went to half-back to try and give him a bit of better ball movement. And it's so vital now in sides to get that run from half-back, and he does it as good as anyone in the comp.
And again, if your team is having a shot from 7 out, make sure you keep an eye on this young man, because he's going to be lurking around for a handball receive, as he did with his first goal in this game. He gets another opportunity, swings around onto the right, attacks that 50-metre arc, and pulls the trigger.
He's in the centre square now.
So that's what happened last time. He went into the centre square, realised the number count was too big, and had to get out.
16 touches, 2 goals. Just pads it to Windhager. Trundling ball inside 50, met hard by Iden. Got the handball out to Ward, who trapped it cleverly. Thinks about going laterally. He does to Kelly. Then to Callahan, who's also a sweet mover. Piercing ball towards Toby Green on the wing. Ball too hot now.
He just edged Webster under the ball and tried to turn back onto it, did Toby Green, but it just kicked and went over the boundary line.
Collard at the back there.
Subbed out.
So throw in affected. Taken in the air. And then gang tackled Owens and he spilt it.
Need to get more out of Owens. He's only had the 2 disposals. He's kicked multiple goals in all 3 games that he's played this year, but hasn't had a sniff today.
He's just
having to do the second ruck as well.
Yeah, so into the midfield, so you've got to get the ball into his hand.
Taylor puts it in the air for the leapers. Cadman got up. Green stalking a 5th. Danced onto it, looked at the big sticks and said, I'll have that. I'll have 5. I've got a handful on you. And that's the equal goals record at this ground. Eric Hickel kicked 5 here yesterday. Joe Danaher kicked 5 here last year. He might have the game's ground record for goals here. Always travelling.
He's too good for him, Roo. And as we sort of said, with that talent base that they've got in the forward half for the Giants, he's not often getting the best defender.
Well, it's not Burns, and I did think when that happened at the start, I thought Tony might be licking his lips a bit.
He won't be able to get the ground record all time, though.
Who kicked that?
Bruce Schultz kicked 19 goals, 2 here in 1941, and he hit the post twice for his 2.
Did have 100 shots during that.
You were here for that game?
Not quite. No, my great-grandfather was. Played okay that day.
Howling breeze.
Green with the football out to Callahan. Gee, they're running hot now. Whitfield, entry inside 50. Didn't sit up for Brown. Meeting it, Cadman didn't sit up for him either. Ball in dispute. Stacks on. Cadman won the football, looking for Ward. Gang tackled out. Toby Green with 5 goals today. That equals his gather round 5 from last year.
Confirming the Saints have made their substitution. Collard is out tactical and Angus Hasty is on the ground.
Kick towards the top of the square. Coming through. Hogan centres the ball. Nobody home though. Or Hill tried to trap it. Hasty's on the ground. baptism of fire already. And the umpire will have it.
Pick 33, 2023. Angus Hasty. High hopes for a big career. And help change this contest. Shovel it back under pressure. The umpire allows that.
Toby Green's 5 is the most he's kicked against StKilda ever.
You might get past that.
Burns wide.
Plenty of time left in this game.
Yeah, Webster. Inside to Sinclair. They love getting it into his hands. Arguably their best player. McRae hasn't had as big a day at the office.
Bedford's done a good job on him.
Great job from Bedford. He's had a few good jobs over the journey.
Wanganeen Muro gets it off hands. It was a magnificent crumb. Kick around the body from Hall. Hits a good spot. Great grab again. What a battle that's been. Phenomenal grab. And this time it's Wood.
His hands are really good.
Really good. He's presented up with his lead or sit under the ball. That's a good, clean grab under genuine pressure.
8th mark for the day.
From directly out. Should send it into the back straight. Oh, wow. That was a outlet. What was going on there? Thank you.
It looked like my golf with a shank.
The Peter Laddams from last week.
No one didn't score.
Ash's kick looking for Weir. Hugs the boundary line and spoilt.
And
Wilson with the spoil.
And we've both been in that situation. As you miss those sort of chances when you're a young team, especially under the pump. It's just energy sapping. You just feel the energy go out of your team.
They've really turned the screws, the Giants, in this third term. Slapped down to Wilson, driven into the ground. Umpire wants it. So what is StKilda doing wrong? They're just being outclassed.
I think they've been outclassed. Bigger, stronger, more depth.
And the pressure is a big issue. See, pressure there. So you've got time to straighten up and get into space and hit targets. There's a little bit going on off the ball. And almost like every possession they get, they're rushed.
That little battle's going on, so the umpire decides to throw it in. Marshall dumps the ball to the top of the square. Fist not good enough. Oh, here's a chance for the Saints. Hall's kicked the goal. Only his 5th match in the AFL, but he's kicked his 6th goal.
There's some encouraging signs, though, isn't there, for some of these young players? I mean, Hall,
He's been good.
Mature age recruit, 5 games in. He's done some nice things. Got a bit of zip about him, bit of class.
He's kicked 6 goals in his 5 games, so he's going well.
The Giants led by 35 points against the Hawks and lost that game by 12. Led this one by 39. An eternity left, 1/4 and 7 minutes.
What was the difference yesterday? The Bulldogs led Brisbane by 39 points at one stage.
Deja Verlici,
Might happen again.
39 the margin. Briggs and Marshall. Tom Green, McRae side by side. Marshall went down, Briggs went at it. Stripped Garcia. Kane to McRae, back to Garcia. Hands to Wilson, going back to go forward. Feeds it wide, Travalia. Hasn't had a big day either. Ward got the experience over Travalia. Toby Green chips it, laced out with a ribbon on it to Springer. Doesn't think he's got the range. Floats it to full forward, over the back. Brown, no free there. Hasty did well, didn't overcommit. Well, he did well until he didn't. Nearly made him pay. Hit the post, didn't it? Pay on. Scramble. Kick around the body is brilliant. Harvey Thomas. One against the grain there.
Was. You might have a look at Brown's attempted pickup there. I think he's flicked it up with his foot and tried to take it. But we saw there the switch for the Saints. The young Saints tried to get out that far wing, but the kick missed the intended target by just a few centimetres, and then the turnover and back the other way. Nice pickup outside of the slipper was smothered, but here's that pressure again. Pressure from the Giants is really good how they're doing that. Just don't let the Saints have any time and space. Handy goal.
Played 22 games last year after debuting in the opening round. First game of the year here as Wilson, his handball coughed it up to Bedford, and then Green with a dumping ball. Brown.
Looked like a nice talk, actually.
Nice drop punt to the top of the square. They set themselves. That's a beautiful mark from Cadman. Had his name written all over it. Strong hands.
And did well to protect himself. You know, put his left knee out just to protect his body. So he sort of was bumped into the ball. That's good, strong hands.
Aaron Cadman, who's kicked one today, one last week. He's a young forward, a work in progress. Only his 40th match. And kicks it through. No problems whatsoever for Aaron Cadman with his second. And after it was 39 in the third quarter, their biggest buffer, it's now to 44.
Yeah, good grab. We've seen signs from Cadman probably over the last, dozen games of footy that he's played. And, strong in the air. I think he had a really powerful quarter against the Brisbane Lions late last year. It was Darcy Jones and Cadman sort of ripped the game out of the hands of Brisbane. And just watch the way he goes for this ball and protects himself. Sort of just puts the knee up a little bit to protect himself. That was enough.
They can smell some blood here, the Giants. They've got their number one ruck staying on. Briggs against the number 2 ruck for the Saints. And so Owens might get the clearance anyway to McRae on the back pedal. Windhager heads long down the spine. Big fist to the right and kills it. Quarter and 5 minutes. Massive crowd here at Norwood Oval.
Still got 5 minutes to go, Dwayne, and this is the Giants' highest scoring quarter for the year so far. They've kicked 7 goals too.
Shallow throw in, tapped down by Briggs, only as far as steal by hand. Windhager. Speedy Garcia around the corner, kick towards the top of the square, and it's Buckley.
Well, they're doing it at both ends, aren't they?
Yeah.
Buckley, short he goes. Wasn't the required. So they've got a little bit of work to do here, the Giants, to get out of defence, as Iden's going to diffuse the situation and really sunk his slipper into it. Himmelberg wanting a free kick out of play.
If you're an aspiring tall forward, watching Jesse Hogan go at the ball would be a good move for you. Really has a real crack at trying to market it at its highest point. And even if he doesn't market it, the defenders go with him because they're just nervous.
Briggs through the legs of Tom Green, Sinclair, Hasty. And he was basically bumped as he kicked it. And it was offline to Ash. The long half-back massages it to Whitfield.
He was on record pace halfway through the second quarter. He's only had 4 touches since. He's on to 20 points. Yeah. Speaking of.
Fumble. On cue for you. Heads out wide. Stocker should gobble this up. We went with the fist. A little bit of ear and a lot of sharing. He's hurt his own fist.
He's done something.
Yeah. So had a wrist or a shoulder. Garcia saw it slide over his head. Tom Green. 17 on 18 at the moment. He was counted into Hill on the run. No one to go too long. Only by hand. Wood. He's got Higgins short, or he goes for home. He launches long. He went for home, and there was no one home. It's almost insufficient intent. There was no one down there, but he's going to get away with the ball in.
So was it Stocker just went off after that contest. And in the end, was he holding his ribs, bro?
It looked like he was holding the ribs.
Yeah.
Ribs, that hard of contact, but
No.
it might have just got him on the wrong angle. It's a tough bugger.
Throw in. Briggs tapped it down to Kelly. Callahan couldn't quite control it, pressured out of it. Ball in dispute, they go to ground. Umpires going to ball it up. 3.5 to go in this third term. It's been a pulsating quarter from the Giants. Briggs won it down. Hack kick out from Taylor, and it's been marked by Owens. But there's a free kick, and it's going to... No, it's going to go to StKilda.
And Hogan was trying to bluff him, Hilly.
He bluffed all of us in the end. Hager goes out wide to Hasty. Now Hasty has a think about it. Loads up using the breeze. Subbed on and just missed. Young fella thought, why not from 52? Looking for a team lifter.
We had the journey, that's for sure.
Kick. Wide drop punt, lace out to Toby Green. That was a beautiful pass. Toby's off and running. They can smell some more blood here, the Giants.
Oh,
A
it's hit the
tall
barrel.
Got it all the way over the top, beautifully. Harvey Thomas goes. Hands it off. Stringer.
He's cut that one. Jake. We've seen, I think we've seen 3 torps over the weekend here at Norwood.
Yeah.
That was the first deliberate one. The other ones were drop punts, or started as drop punts, then turned over into nice torps, but that was deliberately kicked.
Wilson's long ball in the Wood direction, punched away to Kelly from Buckley, and then Callahan retreats back. Iden, Whitfield as they horseshoe it around. Coming to the grandstand side, and Taylor has a little bit of room to move, and some players to pass to. Ash in space as well. Piercing drop punt inside 50. Dropped just short of Hogan. Hasty's got a bit of work to do here. Stringer picks it up, playing with confidence. Centering ball in the Riccardi direction. They all want to have a crack now. Jake Riccardi's kick will be from about 35 metres out.
And good work from Jake Stringer to drag it around to the top of the goal square. Probably was a time that he might have had a ping there, but they do share the ball well.
Kick 1 goal this year, Jake Riccardi, and that has gone sailing through the goals of the Sir Edwin Smith Pavilion end for another one. It's now out to 50 points.
Yeah, they've kicked 14 of the last 18, so been a real touch-up, really.
Well, it has. Some promising signs for the huge StKilda supporter base here at Norwood Oval. They were up and about early, but yeah, been one-way traffic and multiple options up forward.
I don't know why the Giants want to play at the Barossa next year.
No.
They know it Oval pretty well.
Jeez, they do.
The reigning premier doesn't get to play automatically at the Adelaide Oval, do they?
Brisbane found that out.
No, they're a chance to win the whole thing, the Giants. Making a statement in this. And the ball up. Rick's got a palm on it, towed off the deck. Hammered by Steele. Buckley was over it, but he didn't really have possession of it. Sharman, little fumble, that's all it takes. Tom Green wraps him up. Players will be pretty keen to hear this three-quarter time siren and get a breather. Tom Green, Bedford loops it. Jones, and they're out. Chip Brown, that was another little orange poke of the ball. Jones pushed in the back. Umpire let it roll. Wilkie, Webster, Steele. Time is of the essence and he knows it. Briggs. Big unit gets back and saves the day.
Callahan goes wider in the Stringer direction, beaten to the punch by Burns. They're in a good little foot race. So Burns centres. Owens. And that kick Cuffs it straight up to Buckley and Ash. So they're just all a Twitter at the moment, the Saints. And it's all GWS finding the gaps. Whitfield asking for someone to present. And Tom Green answered the call as the siren's about to sound. It's a neat 50 points, GWS. That was an elite third term. West Line with plenty to think about. Norwood Oval. It's a splendid afternoon, particularly if you're a Giants fan. An even 50 with a quarter to come.
All right, three-quarter time. The Giants on song here at Norwood Oval, kicking 8 goals, 3 in that third turn. The poor old Saints, just the 3 goals, 3. Paul, how you going, Squire? You didn't like the Saints. I don't know whether the heat's just getting to the Saints, but it's like they're out of legs a little bit out there on the ground. Still with a quarter to play. Giants look set to be going on for one big victory here, 55-105. 50-point winners. Not winners, 50-point leaders so far at three-quarter time. And I'm thinking they will extend that. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. Toby Green, there we go. He's having a cracking game, isn't he? Normally he has some quiet games, but he's actually doing all right with his 14 disposals, 12 kicks, 5 straight goals is the Toby. He's doing well. Jake Stringer, the package. He's also got a couple with Jesse Hogan and Aaron Cadman doing well. Jacob Ware, Callum Ward, Harvey Thomas, Jake Riccardi, Darcy Jones, all singles for the Giants. The Saints, Cooper Sharman has got 3. Wanganeen Miller has 2. Of course, Mason Wood, Max Hall, Ryan Burns have singles. Disposal getters, Lockie Ash continues to lead the way on 26. Josh Kelly up to 24. Marcus Winderhager up to 20, best so far for the Sainters. Jack Sinclair 19, Garcia 19. 4 of the top 6 are the Saints. I did see the Giants, they actually like to share the ball around, so that's a good thing. Lockie Whitfield, he's on 18, 15 kicks, 3 handballs. Toby Green, oh no, that's Tom Green, up to 17. I was thinking that was Toby, but that's Tom. No worries about that. All right, let's just roll down. There's Toby, 14 disposals, 12 kicks, 2 handballs, 6 marks, a tackle, 3 clearances, 5 goals. He looks pretty good out there. He actually looks fit, Toby Green, so he's going all around. Let's roll on down. Bradley Hill, just the 11 for the Saints. Harry Himmelberg, just 9 for the Giants. Let's keep rolling down there. Jesse Hogan. Let's have a look at Jesse Hogan. Jesse Hogan, the star of the Giants forward line. 6 disposals, 5 kicks, 1 handball, 3 marks. He's kicked 2 goals, so not too bad. Not too bad at all. They're going all right. I think in some of the team stats here, where's the team stats? We'll see the Giants getting on top. Plus 22 in disposal count, plus about 30 in kicks. StKilda still going the way on the handballs. And surprisingly, StKilda, 3 more inside 50s, 43 for their 15 scoring shots. Giants, tell you what, when they go inside, they've got a good record at scoring. 40 inside 50s, 25 scoring shots, going at a rate of 55%. Fantastic. Doing well. Free kicks, there's plenty out there, 16 to 13. Pretty tight there. The hit out, so the Giants in front there by 17, doubling the Saints. Clearances, well, they're all pretty well tied up in the clearance section and the possessions. Turnovers, the Saints just a few more. Marking, well, the Giants plus 22 there. Marks inside 50. Both teams doing really well, marks inside 50. 10 and 12, getting plenty of opportunity there. As I said, they've been inside 50 plenty of times, both teams, so that is fantastic. And both teams tackling reasonably well, 35-43. The Saints, that being said, still a little bit under. I think they're finding it hard to chase out there on this hot day, which was about 32 odd degrees over there in the Barossa Valley over there in Adelaide. All right, let's just take it back because we are only a minute away from the bounce of the ball from the final quarter here at Norwood Oval. The Giants by 50 points. Looks like the poll got it right again at the moment. 56% have voted for the Giants to win this game. I think you're going to be right. All right, folks, we are going to take it back down to the commentators in just a moment, and they will take us into the final bounce of the ball for the fourth quarter and final quarter. Don't forget, folks, coming up in about 2 hours' time, we've got the next game and the final game of Gather Round. That's Port Adelaide taking on Hawthorn. That should be a pretty good game. It'll be interesting to see what Port Adelaide can bring, as it is actually their home game. I think Hawthorn is just going to have too much might and power for Port Adelaide. I think Hawthorn should have a comfortable win over there. But that's all right. Let us get back down to the ground commentators. They're just having a little bit of a chin wag on some of the festivals going on over there. We'll be back for the bounce of the ball in just a moment.
Across this wonderful festival of football, and it does showcase the very best that Adelaide has to offer. And well, the Giants are showcasing what they've got to offer at the moment in terms of the race to the flag, because Alistair Lynch and Marcus Judo, they are flexing here at Norwood.
Oh, absolutely. They've been dominant. And they were roaring outside 4 hours ago when we were there, Roo, and the Giants are roaring in here and sort of on the back of midfield dominance. But then who has got on the end of it is Toby Green's just been putting on a clinic down there with some great goals.
He's kicked 5 straight, made the most of his opportunities, hasn't fumbled. Just been the Toby Green that we've come to know over so many years now. They like to use him up forward. They chuck him in the centre square every now and then when they need a little bit of grunt through there. But he has just been superb today, just super efficient, really dangerous. And it's not like he's getting the third or fourth best defender as well. They know when Toby Green's in the forward line, he's the first one they're matching up on. Gives Jake Stringer the next best defender, but he's still getting the job done, pushing hard up the ground, kicking goals from all over the place. He's been fantastic.
And you'd reckon that he's got a couple off his PB of 7 goals in an AFL game. You'd think he'd be putting the snout in the trough this last quarter to eclipse that record.
I reckon he'd know that, and he'd be lining up for a good last quarter.
I reckon.
So that quarter was the Giants' high-scoring quarter of the season. It was also their best ever against the StKilda Football Club. So setting some records so far here at Norwood Oval. And the Tsunami Lynchy, we saw it in full flight.
Oh, it's absolutely back up and running, and there's a number of players off half-back that are setting it up. It's probably comes with intercept marking of the likes of Sam Taylor and Buckley, and then they go with Lockie Ash, Whitfield, and they're scoring from the back half, which is something the Saints haven't been able to do.
Yeah, they haven't been able to. They haven't got a goal from that area today, and GWS have got 5. So will they keep going in the last quarter? I reckon they might.
I reckon they might.
A big last quarter coming up from Norwood Oval right here on Fox Footy. Matt Hill and Dwayne Russell, over to you.
Sarah Jones, thank you very much. So a 50-point margin after it was 2 at quarter time, 20 at half time. And the Giants kicking to the left of your screens, kicking to the Roger Woodcock ends as we get underway. And immediately Briggs's kick is smothered. Ball picked up by Wayne Ganeen. Miller goes for a little run, and then the handball to Steele. Steele's long ball towards the pocket. Bouncing ball. Travelled a long way and out of bounds. Right next to the packed Sir Edwin Smith Pavilion. A real feature of Norwood Oval. There's Toby. He's had a good day. Those 5 goals. Throw in. Marshall wins it down. It was a centering ball in the congestion. Kelly, quick hands Ward. That was clever to Callahan, who just blazes away off a step. Hogan set himself, pulled out at the last moment, then patted down by Thomas. Saints with the ball now. Quick hands, Owens, Hill, and then Higgins, who's been quiet. He couldn't quite get there. Ward's tap to Buckley, who goes the fist. Ball still in dispute here. GWS through Thomas, and then out to Iden and Ward. Outside 50 they go, and that's straight down the throat of Burns.
Plays on to Wilson. Pocket. And a flying shot and goal for the ball. It might be a ripper. Sinclair's got down there and kicked that. Unbelievable. Didn't centre it. Sit on the experienced player in the this lineup, if anyone's got to get the job done, I'm going to have to do a bit myself. And that would be fantastic if they've released him to play a little mid-forward.
That would be exciting. He's probably the most talented player they've got in the team, and just, slotted that one straight through. The umpire didn't have to move. But a much better start to this term for this young Saints team that's been equipped for most of the day. The bad turnover from Cal Ward. We spoke about how he's one of the elite kicks in the competition, but that wasn't his best. That was one of Sinclair's best. Going the other way. Great finish.
His fourth goal he's kicked from the year too, so he spends most of his time on the half-back.
Yeah.
It's in the middle now, so it's obviously on the ball.
Breaks by hand to Green, who just pummels the ball towards the top of the square, and then it was Caminiti who bit off more than he can chew. Gave it over. Tackled Owens to the ground.
Was it touched or did he play on there, do you think?
I think he played on and just didn't realise how close his opponent was. Thomas gets rid of it legally. Windhager's kick was smothered, basically kicked it back into the pack. Tom Green hands Hill out to Burns, sells a little bit of a dummy, and then tunnel ball towards Hasty, has Thomas for company, pinched away by Whitfield, clever tap to Toby. Toby 52 metres out to Hogan in the pocket, couldn't quite grasp, but Caminiti did. He's in a dangerous territory, little one along the ground's good enough. Hasty out to Burns in front of the old scoreboard, then bangs it towards the wing, but 2-on-1. Giants had the numbers there. Himmelberg couldn't grasp it in. Hill goes back to Hall. Then along the wing he goes to Wood, who has the football for the Saints.
Cal Wilkie's got a very sore back. He got a hard knee from Hogan.
Looks like the Saints have been told to play at all costs here. Nothing to lose. Hill ran a 360. Pokes it to Wangan in Malera coming out of the goal square. So Higgins might hate Adelaide more this week than he did last week. He's had only 4 possessions.
Yeah.
They've decided to put Sinclair as a mid-forward from defence. They've got Wanganeen Malera playing out of the goal square as well. So they've changed it up, which is a good news story, Ross Lyon, trying something.
It is, and I think you're right. They've told him that's why Caminiti played on. When he took that mark, they've been told to just roll the dice, get the ball moving.
Got an enormous mountain to climb. They're climbing it goal by goal. He's got 3. A sneaky sniff if they're good.
It only kicked 2, which is still good for a majority half-back flanker coming into the day. He's kicked 3 today. He's been on fire. 20 disposals, 3 goals. Can't do much more than that.
And they're all long-range goals as well. The first 2 handball receives, that one on the lead as a legitimate hit up forward.
I reckon he's on the wing at the moment, Lynchy.
Yeah, well, he must have dragged his man deep and then turned him around and took off at the ball. See here, just Hill. And that's a good lead up out of that space.
It's 38 points. So Griggs done for a block.
Just checked. It's the first time Wanganeen Miller has kicked more than 1 goal in the game. He's kicked 3.
Marshall to Wilson. Long ball towards Wood. Couldn't rake it in. Higgins round the corner. He loves this situation. They've kicked another one. And the little pocket rocket might be the man to fire them up.
His fans are rat, little fella. And he does that well, drags it around. As you said previously, very quiet day. And that's the type of goal that he does kick on a regular basis.
We get a ball game again here. It's 32 points.
Give him one more and there's a chance. But it has been a good start. They said the block in here, Briggs, it's okay to do that, but you have to get your hand on the ball. AG a hit out, and so otherwise it's a free kick. Good contest again from Mason Wood, who's been impressive today. Just did enough when pretty much out of position to jump up, do enough to get the ball to ground. And a classic Higgins goal.
They've got Wilson and Wanganeen Miller on the wing, Sinclair in the middle. So they've got their 3 hardest runners up around the ball.
Oh, it's nearly a free. Gets the clearance, gets it to attacking 50. Chaos ball. Eluded Charman. Taylor. Gave it to Wanganeen Malera. Bang. would have been a goal of the season contender had he kicked that. Where? Back pocket. Keeps it alive. Owen's about to pounce. A little bit of room to move. Didn't spend it wisely. Where? Dropped back to the flight.
I think they've gone all chips in to try and win this one, haven't they? They've moved them up closer. They want to attack from half-back, want to attack closer to the middle of the ground.
Well, it's caution to the wind stuff, but it's going to be an exciting 15 minutes if that's the case. Wilkie just can't quite pick it up now. He does. Takes it pretty well in the end, and then a low ball. Meeting it was Iden. Play on was the call. Whitfield, Himmelberg, Ash, Stone, Ash. And he goes wider to Ward at half-back.
GWS would have been thinking at three-quarter time, can we take a few off? Can we rest them up for next week? And now all of a sudden, they have to kick another goal or two.
And we were talking about PBs for Toby Green as well.
They've still got their sub to use as well. Toby McMullen, the Giants. They haven't jumped with that yet. A long blast, Stocker under it. Kept it to the front. Bedford immediately tackled. Going nowhere. Sinclair wrapped him up, and it's edge of the seat stuff at the moment for a game that's with a 32-point margin. But we saw a ridiculous comeback here yesterday. So maybe fans here that came yesterday sensing a bit of deja vu.
Wasn't a bad one Thursday either.
That's true.
Seen some great footy.
Yeah. Gather round's the success. And SA are going to keep it forever the way we're going. It's such a brilliant spot to have it.
So Tom Green. Handball looking for Stringer. Coming out to meet it. Brown back to Green. Blazes towards the top of the square. Hoping for Hogan, but he was just outplaced there. Stocker tries to find a teammate. It's going to be Garcia running onto it. Spoiled by Ward and out.
Roo, you mentioned earlier Cal Wilkie went down because he got pushed back into the pack and got a knee in the back. Geez, he's been good today.
He's a great player.
Really good. Great contest. Yeah, great contest on the, arguably the best full forward in the competition.
So Owens has slapped it down. Another stoppage.
So it was only 191, so 6-3 in the old scale. It's not big.
Overlooked in 4 drafts as well. Cal Wilkie. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Had to play in a premiership here in the Sandford to get noticed. North Adelaide premiership defender.
Probably just thought he wasn't big enough.
Yeah, maybe. But
it happens.
Yeah, that's never over when you're 21, 22.
And the recruiters that look a little bit deeper can pluck some gems.
Owens got the kick away high. Sharman's under it. He won't get near it. Briggs. Times on their side. No need for him to go for the difficult inside kick. He just launches it. McCarty's up. Can't mark it. Burns the crumb. But there's that play on at all costs. Handball in defence. They are taking it on. It'll be exciting one way or the other.
Jesse Hogan just slowly getting out. He was holding his left ankle. Looks like he's limping away and okay now, but there was some concern after that marking contest.
Briggs won it down. Again, Miller couldn't quite trap it. Ware's handball. Looking for Jones. He's kept it in play. Ricochets around. Oh, and it's insufficient intent. Now, this is interesting. It's going to be a free kick to Tom Green.
It wasn't a marking contest, so umpire said he just knocked it out like it was a spoil.
So the umpire getting some immediate feedback from the patrons over at the far side. Green just trying to shield his eyes from the sun. He's looking directly into it. Important kick in the context of the game. He's kicked it fat. It's high. He's going to float. Leaping from nowhere, Brown eventually through for a behind.
Well, that's almost a win for StKilda. They can go with the behind now as quickly as possible. And here they go. Out of sight, race on. Iden, clever, knocked it to the boundary. Order Ware, and Saints players asking the umpire, how about that one?
Here we go, pitch. Kieran, thanks, bro.
All of that to be flung back in. Briggs and Owens. So Second ruck for the Saints goes at it. Knocks it towards Tom Green. Sinclair. I'm sure he's going nowhere. Get another ball in and we're down to 13 and a half minutes. 33 points the margin and still the Giants haven't jumped with their sub yet.
Breeks with the fist. Tom Green working hard. Kept the football. Bedford out to Ware. Ware's kick was smothered. Ball in dispute. Toby at the bottom of the pack. So memorable day. So Breeks diving there in the ruck. Owens. And receives it again from McRae and then dumps the kick towards the wing. Hill along the ground, trying desperately to progress it forward. Stone happy to kill it.
Well, the Giants have locked this down. They were sick of the quick ball movement from StKilda. Just congested it up a little bit.
So many teams in the comp these days, the top end of the ladder, are good at it. Collingwood, best in the comp, shutting it down, taking time off the clock. Briggs knocks it down. Tom Green tackled immediately. Kelly, Whitfield, the usual suspects. Whitfield, a wobbling spear. Found Hogan. Handed off to Brown. Found some room. Go to Toby. Can't seal the deal if Toby's missing him.
Darcy Jones giving half a cook. I'm not sure that's wise. But why didn't you pass it to me?
So Hasty blazing out of the square very quickly, kicks it straight to Hill on the outer wing. Wilkie running as well. And this kicks the scrambly one under pressure. Bedford not quite. Sinclair going for a jog. They're moving it fast, and there's no doubt about that. Wilson to McRae. McRae has a bounce. Just gives himself a little bit more time. Then his kick towards goal is missing everything.
He just didn't look comfortable, did he? Just didn't want to have a shot. And in the end, he sort of had to because he was in range and made a mess of it.
It's top 10 in the AFL this season, pretty much all criteria. Number one for contested ball. Jack McRae's having a good year. That wasn't a great moment, but they're still alive, the Saints. Hill gets back, Hasty gets back. Hill, a little tap to his advantage. Tight roast to the boundary, spears it. Sharman turns and looks. He's got Wood leading out of the pocket. What's he going to do here? He's going to wind up and have a crack. He floats it, he chips it, and he hits it to Hill. In front of the Hill. Back pedals.
Doesn't appear to be a deep pocket here. I think he'll swing around onto his arc around onto his right and kick fairly close to the man on the mark. I think you get the journey quite easily.
Crowd behind him giving him that shooting from the sunshine salute. As he walks in, gets a jog up, heads toward goal. It's across the face.
Could have had two shots they could have got.
Yeah.
Himmelberg in the pocket. Gets rid of it eventually. Taylor had a fair bit of it, spoiled by Burns and out. So even though there's 10:55 left on the clock, it feels a lot closer than that.
And they still aren't jumping with their sub. McMullen's warming up, but he still hasn't come on yet.
Riccardi won it down that time. Ward Callahan round the corner. And it's marked by Caminiti, beating Cadman to the punch. Caminiti stops, staggers, backtracks, and then kicks straight to the boundary. And that is a throw in.
He saw a couple of half chances in the corridor, didn't quite want to pull the trigger, then backed himself into a play-on situation, and now he's cramping up. Just a compounded problem.
So one down by the Saints, only as far as Callahan to Whitfield. And then that kick was smothered. Jones, Windhager running for his life there on the outer wing. Short ball, good ball to Woods. They just keep playing on at all costs. He was looking for Wilson, kicked it towards Stone. Wood kicked it to Stone, and in the end it was going to be a ball up.
McMullen's got the warm-up top off and is preparing to come on to the game as the substitute for the Giants.
Thanks, Sarah. Collard subbed out tactically by the Saints a little earlier. No one going anywhere here. Hands on knees. It's been a hot afternoon. Giants looking for a 4-1 record. Saints looking for a 4-1 record. Free kick. Steele has it.
So Bedford's going to Wanganeen Miller. Try and shut him down in the last quarter.
And Kingsley had seen enough with that third goal for the game.
Windhager isn't with Callahan anymore. They've dropped that one off as well.
If they can get a captain's goal, now will be the time that asks for it. In he struts. Struck it pretty well. It's bending. Enough.
Jack Steele returns today and up against his old club that he played 2 seasons with before making the move to the StKilda footy club.
What 15? So Ash and Ward in concert with each other. The handball to Iden.
Should we just change that 15-metre rule to a 20-metre rule now? Or feels like it's a lot further than 15.
They've been hot on it this weekend and the last couple of weekends. So Himmelberg has it. His kick to the congestion. Riccardi in from the side. Couldn't quite take the grab on hands and knees. Comes out to Burns. Travalia, quick hands. Wanganeen Miller as they forge forward again inside 50. The kick was a rifle and finds Garcia.
There's one thing to see. Oh, look out, here he goes. He wanted his third handball received goal.
That's crazy.
That around the body, one to identify the target and then hit it. It was a class act.
He's kicked 1 goal in 4 games this season, Garcia.
He's coming back again. Here he goes.
He's going to get it this time. Wanganeen Miller, he loves it. Takes on a man. Eyes the mark. And it misses to the left. How exciting is it?
He's dragged him. He's coming off.
I love those special comments. Get in.
He set it up. Everyone in the stadium knew he wanted it.
Yep.
He tried a few times.
Someone's been watching the Masters this week.
Ash holds it up. With every second that ticks off the clock, Giants are closer to a victory. Short pass is holding possession. Sub is now on, so McMullen probably might get used a bit. Touched off the boot of Stone. Up flies Ware, hits the deck. Tom Green. Slung 360. Got it to Ware. Feeds it to Jones. Can they get a knockout blow here? Long ball. Hogan's under it. Cadman got there from 3 deep. And he plays on quickly. Didn't have to, but he went to the sub, who's fresh. He sprinted into the hole. Toby McMullen. Maybe to finish it off. Into the team this week, and this is to the near side, but took a few seconds more than the 30 off the clock, so he did his job in some ways.
So Marshall, less than 7 on the clock now. It's 32 points. Marshall's wide ball. Oh, he nearly got decapitated by the ball. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
You're normally better than that, Lynchy.
Gee, I tell you what.
I was asleep.
You've lost it.
They clipped the fingers. One grabber. My goodness.
Lynchy, that had your name written all over it. Well, can't say we're not near the action.
Right in it.
Oh, yeah.
Green, Callahan, Ward, Back towards Callahan, pinched by Hill, takes them on himself, handball over the top, they're running, Steele, not a bad little interception in the end, but he got a clean giveaway, kick towards the top of the square, and it was taken by Iden.
Disappointed in your Lynchy.
Oh, I'm disappointed in myself.
What about Rue's eyes lit up? I think he was going to tackle you.
I was going to
He was going to line you up.
He's going to do a Jesse Hogan over the top.
Hammered wide. Distance on it. Hasty had it, lost it, stolen from him. Flick hand pass was good. Toby off and running. Had a look around to see what was on offer short. Another bounce. Windhager corrals him. Hogan's under it. Cadman got up for the big fly. Icarus. He got too close to the sun. How good a leap was that? He's starting to show some stuff. Aaron Cadman.
Better than Lynchy's.
Yeah, he got up off the ground and got a hand to it. So that's what you want to see. We'll have a crack at him.
So Sinclair out of the congestion. Just a dump and hope, and it was marked by Ward. So Ward bereft of options at the moment, or is he? Filling the slot is McMullen. So he's looking for his first goal of the year and his first match of the year. He's got the fresh legs, he's got the bright boots, looking to put them away.
Beautifully weighted kick from Ward. As I said, Matt, there's a congested forward 50. He picked one out.
So Toby McMullen. No real breeze to speak of. Yeah, it's going to glance left, so they just haven't been able to hit that knockout punch, GWS, but they still lead by 33.
Death by 1,000 cuts at the moment for StKilda. Wilkie sends it wide. Travalia couldn't quite handle it. If they do knock him out, it won't be the biggest here. There was a boxing bout here back in the 40s, the Alabama Kid, and
When?
back in the Ernie Horn and the Alabama Kid fought.
Oh, yeah.
Big stage in the middle.
Who won?
The Alabama Kid over from the US. Knocked him over. And they're on the edge of being knocked over here, the Saints. Callahan, Owens, wobbled it outside of the boot. Buckley. It's a great 1-2 punch they've got in defence, Buckley and Taylor.
Yeah, those few times where over Sam Taylor's career where he's had to be on the sidelines with injury, Buckley's just stood up. He can play tall, play as the interceptor.
Taylor in front of the pavilion. As the sun sets on Norwood Oval, high ball, Briggs at the front, Cadman pats it down, couldn't quite complete the mark, came out to Ward, by hand Callahan, Himmelberg, Ward. Ward's going to spread it to the outer side and Ash, and then out to Ware. So a relatively quiet second half. So it's well and truly in the Giants' keeping. Just haven't been able to get that knockout blow in the final turn. The Saints have thrown a bit at them. McMullen's kick towards the 50. No Mark Hogan, had 2 to beat. Hasty out the back. Spearing ball only as far as Green, who read it better, and then sets it up for Cadman.
Well, they had to crack the Saints at the start, didn't they? And they just haven't been able to go on with it. But
Cadman, who's had 8 touches, 2 goals this afternoon. He's just loping along nicely in this year's campaign with 6 goals for 2025. So Aaron Cadman comes in on the left, tries to go right to left this time, but it's too convincing to the right of screen and through for a behind. So it's now 34 points.
It looked like he just dropped that one a little inside and chased it. Didn't flush it at all.
Sinclair went one wide, then went to Hill. Little floater on the run to Garcia. Adam Kingsley should be extremely happy with this. Down the line, that travel to Windhager. Good grab. This Ross Lyons had a crack in this last quarter. He didn't put the cue in the rack. Pulled some levers to see what they could do. Sinclair to steal. Fought it out. To the pocket. For one last consolation prize, maybe, for the Saints. Owens went through him. Oh, bugs on his windscreen. He tried to take them all on. Unsuccessful. All up.
He's near gone straight over the top of Sam Taylor.
Breaks down to Ward, where Sky's one, and that's heading into the grandstand as well, out of bounds. So 90 seconds left in this. Of course, the bounce coming up shortly. As Windhager's kick inside 50 is looking for Marshall, but outpointed by Taylor.
The best in the game at the moment, I would have thought, with Harris Andrews, is that intercepting marking ability. Can play on one-on-one as well.
A high ball looking for Toby, but Caminiti good in the air that time, and then goes towards the corridor, makes Wilkie work for it. He's worked hard all day. Out to Stocker. Stocker wider again, making Jones and also Sharman run. Back inboard, Jones, quick hands. Trevelyan's coughed it up. Too much pressure from the Giants' defence. McMullen round the corner. Outside D50 it goes. Comes out to Kelly. His loose handball. Wilkie inboard. Stocker. Hill has Windhager calling for it. Ignores that. Goes inside 50. Higgins gets a little bit of a slap on the right eye at the same time.
I think pretty good work from Marshall, actually. I think he did enough to put a bit of a block on, just so that he was able to take this mark easily. Higgins, yeah, that's okay. You don't have to jump out of the road. And he just stood there and put a block on for Sam Taylor.
Well, Jack Higgins, 3 last week, 1 today. He's probably going to want the first flight out of the place. He's directly in front here for a little bit of a consolation prize.
I think there's enough there, Roo, for positives for StKilda. Some of the younger guys, Sharman looks a class act up forward with some of his marking ability.
Their start and their finish has been good. They got bullied in the middle of the game, didn't they? Really.
Wanganeen Malira has had a huge impact on the game.
Yep, it sure has. I think this is his highest rating game ever, and in the top 5 performances of any StKilda player over the last 5 seasons.
Here we are, Lynchy. That ball was straight at you. You've disappointed us.
Disappointed myself.
Come on, Lynchy.
The reflexes are gone.
Take us home, Matty.
So 1 second left. It's been a brilliant day at Norwood, a celebration of our great game. You're certainly celebrating if you're a Giant. It's 28 points. The crowd, 9,235. And that mulligan at the end's going to wrap it up. So with all of the team, the Tsunami has declared a little bit of a warning to the rest of the opposition. It is the GWS Giants by 28 points at Norwood Oval. And Kingsley was doing plenty of screaming from the boundary line ahead of us, but he's going to be happy. A hard-fought win at Norwood Oval, and they go 4-1 in the 2025 campaign, the GWS Giants. Some great action from Norwood, with one match still to come for the other round, but we're heading to the Adelaide Oval, and we're going to the Hill live. Here is Jason Dunstan to kick off the bounce.
Thank you very much, James. A great call from the...
All right, folks, there we go. That is game, set, match. The Giants did it. 16-14, 110, defeating the Saints. 12-10, 82. The Saints came back a little bit. I think 4 goals, 3 in that final term to the Saints. Of course, I think the 5 behinds to the Giants. So they finished off well. I think they'll be pleased with that going into the next round. Let's welcome in Chia, Shelty, Chia. Of course, Icy on YouTube. Thanks, T-Name Bim, for popping in, folks. There we go. We had the poll. 54% said the Giants. They got it right again. Well done, everybody. Don't forget the next game coming up after this in about a little over an hour time. Let me just double check that. That's right, 7:20 p.m. Just a little bit over now. We've got Port Adelaide taking on Hawthorn. Just the leading goal scorers of the game. The multiple goal scorers, of course. Toby Green for the Giants kicked 5. Jake Stringer 2. Jesse Hogan 2. Adam Cadman 2. They're the multiple goal scorers. And for the Saints, Wangani Malera got 3. Cooper Sharman got 3. Jake Higgins got 2 for the Saints. Just to finish off with the disposal getters. Only one person topped 30 disposals for today's game. Lucky Ash was the man there with 33, 19 kicks, 14 handballs, 9 marks, 1 tackle and a clearance. Good job there. Josh Kelly, Tom Green, both with 28, Callum Ward 27. Top 4, the Giants players. Jack Sinclair, top the table for the Saints with 26 disposals on the ground and 1 goal. So not a bad effort from here. Wanganeen Malera, they say that was one of the highest rated games of a StKilda player for about 5 seasons, so well done to you. 24 touches, 3 goals, 1. Fantastic effort there from him. Jakey Steele got 20 touches for the Saints. Sam Taylor got 19 for the Giants. Let's just roll down. Toby Green had a pretty good game there. Fair bit of impact with his 17 touches, 15 kicks, 2 handballs. He kicked 5 goals, 1 with 3 clearances. Another nice, solid effort from Toby Green that was. Let's just roll down and see where the other big guns are, if we can find them. Jake the Package Stringer for the Gold Coast. He had 8 kicks, 8 touches, 2 goals, 2, not too bad. Jesse Hogan, he was very quiet there for the Giants. 7 touches, 5 kicks, just kicking the 2 goals there today. But that's all we've got for this one. Thanks everyone for popping in. Don't forget, we've got the Port Adelaide Hawthorn game coming up in about an hour's time. Let me just check for everybody. The next games that StKilda and the Giants play. So the Giants' next game is next Saturday. That's 4:15 p.m. Melbourne time. They are back at Adelaide Oval. They're playing the Adelaide Crows. It's Adelaide versus GWS Giants, Adelaide Oval. That should be a really good game. Adelaide have been in super form, and of course, Giants in fantastic form themselves. So that should be a fantastic game there. Coming up next Sunday, the StKilda is taking on the Western Bulldogs back here in Melbourne at Marvel Stadium, where both teams like to play at Marvel Stadium. Both teams going well there, so that should be pretty good there. Let me just double check, see if this live ladder has updated. I'm not sure whether the live ladder has updated. 4-3. It hasn't updated just yet, or else I would have brought it to you. Still got both teams on 4 games they've played, where it should be 5. So I can't bring you the live ladder as it stands, but as it stands, let me just have a look. GWS Giants should climb up the ladder. 16. They should be sitting about 3rd on the ladder, I would imagine. About 3rd on the ladder they will be. Brisbane Lions will be leading top of the ladder. Gold Coast Suns 2nd. The Giants will be 3rd on the ladder. StKilda should be just hanging on to 8th position, just by percentage only. But another interesting game there. A game we thought StKilda would take it right up to the Giants. They did reasonably well in the first quarter and the final quarter. It's just in the second and third quarter they certainly got owned by the Giants. They're a pretty good side, the Giants, when they get going. And we saw that today. Mind you, I think the heat might have got to StKilda a little bit as well today. As I said, it was a pretty hot day over there in Norwood. Oval in Adelaide, it was about 32 degrees, so that's pretty hot for anyone to play Australian rules football in there today, folks. All right, folks, that's all I got from this game where the Giants ran out winners by 28 points over the Saints. We'll see you on the next game. Ciao for now. Port Adelaide Hawthorn coming up around about an hour's time.